Hello and welcome to another season of fantasy football. I really appreciate everybody taking the time to reply and let me know all the information leading up to the draft. It makes everything go a lot smoother, so thank you everybody for doing that. I'm really looking forward to another season. I always enjoy fantasy football, not just because it's so much fun to watch football on Sundays, keep up with my fantasy team, and then go through the agony of losing, but I think that we have a great group of people in our league, and that's why I want to do my best to make this league as good as I can, as good as we can, so that it stays strong and continues to grow for the next, whatever the foreseeable future is. So again, thank you for your time, and the point of this video is to go over an idea that was tossed around last season to strengthen the keeper league. And this idea is a salary cap. As it is right now, each team picks their top 6 players, or keeps 6 players, usually it's their top 6, and carries them forward into the next year. Well, the idea of the salary cap, it creates some parity, it mixes things up, it makes things more interesting for the draft, and we'll go through that and I'll show you how that works. And, just one more thing before we move on. There is still some parity in our league. You can go from the worst team who has the first pick and drafting Ezekiel Elliott and still somehow finish second in the league or finish with the second best record. Congratulations, Chad. We'll see if Caleb can take over a new team, and he has his work cut out for him with the #1 pick. Again, we'll see if he can turn things around. So let's just run through this idea. I'll try and be as clear, concise, and quick as possible after rambling for like 2 minutes here. Okay, so the idea of a salary cap, the first question is, how do I know how much my players are worth? How do I know what that value is? Well, Yahoo, they have this draft analysis set up where they pull the average cost, the average keeper cost of players, and I guess this is from their auction, the average cost it is to pay for players in auction. And you can carry these numbers over and they are assigned to players in keeper. And so that's already set up, and then it just comes to putting a team together. And so what I did was I went on to Reddit, and there's this thing that people can do, rate my team. And I didn't have the time to rate Mid-Michigan Farmers team, but I did have the time to put this whole spreadsheet together. So let's just assume that this was Mid-Michigan Farmers team from last year, and these are all keepers that he or her has the chance to keep this year. Well, we're going to keep 6 players again, just for simplicity reasons of draft and everything like that. It would make things way too complicated if you just were able to keep your top 5 or 3 or whatever, or you just kept like 10 cheap players. So we're going to keep it the same. We're going to keep it 6 players, except there's going to be a salary cap budget of $100 to work with in this proposed idea. And one more thing, let's just look at Mid-Michigan Farmers roster real quick. Their top 6 most expensive players added up to $143.20. That accounted for 87% of their total team's value. So it really is top heavy. Those top 6 players usually are like the best players, or the players that have the most draft value. And again, this idea of a salary cap, it evens things out. Speaking for myself, I know that my team, I know I'm not winning. That's going to change this year, but my team's top 6 most expensive players, there's a big discrepancy, a big disparity in value between that and other teams in the league. So this idea, it is about putting everybody on the same salary budget, or in the same ballpark. You might not get to exactly $100, but you could come close. And let's see what the application of this is. Let's see. He's doing his keepers right before the start of the season, and he's going through, has $100 to work with. Well, okay, I have Melvin Gordon. I don't want to lose my best running back. That's going to be a no-brainer for him. And then Amari Cooper, best receiver. Those 2 seem like no-brainers, right? 2 players, that's already $91.70, but that's okay. Look at the rest of the values here. You can still put together a quality, interesting team here for under $100. Again, he already has Melvin Gordon and Amari Cooper. Let's see if we can make this work for under $100. So because we chose Melvin Gordon, he probably wouldn't be able to choose Spencer Ware and Isaiah Crowell. And you could do it the reverse way. He could choose those two instead of Melvin Gordon if he thought Gordon was going to have a down year. But let's just say, let's continue on with those top two guys. And maybe he thinks Adrian Peterson's going to have a good bounce back year, and he believes in Robert Woods out in Los Angeles. So that puts him at 4 players, $97.40. So he still has just under $3 to work with here to put his team together. He has 2 wide receivers, a good running back, and he decides, you know what, I'm going to keep the tight end, and $98.70. So he just has over $1 to work with. Let's give him Procise, running back out of Seattle. So there, we just put together a team for Mid-Michigan Farmer, a keeper team, able to keep his best running back, his best receiver, a good young wide receiver, a good young tight end, and a good young running back, all for $100. And then Gordon, or I'm sorry, Ware, Crowell, a lot of guys, they get put back into, everyone else is going back into the draft. So a team that maybe is a little bit weaker at running back has the option to choose some good running backs. And let's just do one more scenario here before we conclude. There's a different way to do it. Maybe he thinks, oh, this is what we just talked about. I'm not sure Gordon's going to have a big year. I'm worried about that move to Los Angeles. So let's keep Ware. Let's keep Crowell instead. And of course, we have to keep Cooper. This is a wide receiver league. You know, wide receivers are so important. Let's keep Cooper, and let's keep Devontae Parker, the Miami Dolphins. 4 players, $82.60. So there's still some real room to work with here. He's not as worried. Yes, he's letting go of Gordon, but he's able to keep, let's see, he could do Peterson. He could just throw darts. He could think that the odds of one of these 3 running backs or 2 of these 3 running backs having a better year than Gordon, he believes in that, so he's going to do that, and he doesn't want to lose Cam Newton. So there's 6 players, $90.70. That's still a good team, and then, you know, Gordon and the rest of the guys would go back into the draft, and it'd be the same draft process that we already have. So I'm interested to hear what you think of the idea of a salary cap budget. I know that it is a little bit different. It mixes things up, but I think that this could be a change that would be a positive thing for this league going forward. It would put some more excitement back into the draft, which I know a lot of people have talked about, and you would just have to be a little bit more strategic in how you put your team together, what young players you believe in, all of that. So thank you for taking the time and watching this video. I hope everyone has a great season, and again, I'm really interested to hear your feedback, and we'll see if this could be an idea that maybe we implement going forward.